All right, balancers. Today's guest is a trailblazing motivator, inclusive fitness advocate, and Guinness World Record holder, which I'm very excited to ask you about. I've got Dareen Barber on the show today. Dareen, you've been very inspirational. I love the content you share, and I'm really excited to have a chat with you today.
Thank you so much for having me, Erica. Thank you.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. So how long have you lived here in Dubai?
For almost 18 years, yeah.
Wow.
18 years,
Wow.
since 2006.
And are you one of these people that came to Dubai as like a short-term plan and then ended up never leaving?
No, I can't say that because, I'm Lebanese originally, and Lebanon was passing through a hard time. And starting a family there was not something that I was, looking for because of the economical situation, the political situation.
Fair.
So I got married and we planned to move here because, Dubai is the land of opportunity. To start a family, to start a future. So there was no expiry date on our stay. As long as we are happy, we're staying.
Amazing. I have to say, when I moved here, I was really surprised at how family oriented the city is. I kind of had this conception that Dubai was a place people just come for a little bit and then leave. But
Yeah.
I've seen so many families here, and it's actually really nice to see how community focused the city is, don't you think?
Yeah, exactly. It's a multicultural country. So you see a lot of people coming and going. And you rarely see people that are staying. But nowadays, I see a lot of people are settling in because of how Dubai has evolved and how it ranked worldwide, the safest country, the most attractive country, it's...
I think it was like most visited last year as well.
Exactly. So people want to be here. It's famous.
That's a great place to be. I'd love it if you could take us back to your story. I think kind of really began when you were 15 years old. And I think you went through something that I can't even imagine what would have felt like, let alone as a 15-year-old. So I would love for you to share just your experience and just what that has taught you, or where that's where that's brought you in life to date.
Well, being a 15-year-old, we've all been 15, and the teenage
girls.
girls, we like looks, we like parties, we like to attract boys, this is our main focus at that age. And living in my country, it was passing through war. So after the war ended, I thought, now I can live life. And suddenly, the unexpected happened. I got sick and I got cancer in my knee. At that time, my parents didn't tell me that you had cancer because they wanted me to, be strong and face it.
What did they tell you?
It was an infection, and you have to take chemotherapy. You have to do all the steps. But I was, I wanted to get over with it. I wanted to, whatever it takes, but I want to move on in my life. It was a difficult stage, honestly. Going back to my life as a different person, I wasn't an amputee. Suddenly, I'm an amputee. I'm missing a leg. So a lot of things got missing with my leg. My confidence, my dreams, my aspirations. A lot of things hit me, my identity. I wasn't sure who I was because of my amputation. But, with the support of my family, and especially my mom, I got through all this, and I got to live a normal life like everybody. Although I faced a lot of challenges, a lot of mental challenges.
No doubt.
The physical challenges are there till now. But mentally, you have to really fight a war between you and your thoughts and the society. So it wasn't easy at all. But thank God I got through it. And I have achieved a lot of things that I couldn't have dreamt of achieving, honestly.
Yeah, no, we're going to speak about some of those today.
Yeah.
In that period where you're recovered, your health is better, what are some of the toughest mindset or mental challenges that you had to go through as a 15, 16-year-old now coming out with this new identity, this new way of living, this new relationship with yourself? What was some of the toughest things you had to really deal with mentally?
I think we come to this life thinking that it will be perfect. You know, everything will just fall in place. Nothing will happen to me. I'm immune. I used to look at people in the streets that were missing limbs, and I would say that could never happen to me. You know, you would think, look at people's, you know, they are miserable or passing through a hard time. You'd think, oh my God, this could not never happen to me, and if it happened to me, I would die. So I thought that nothing could happen to me, and it happened. So I think life is full of surprises, and we are conditioned and we are taught that we should always chase perfection. We should always, like as women, we should always look perfect. Nothing should be wrong with us. We should act in a certain way. And that really was a war between me and myself. Now I don't have a leg. How can I be perfect? How can I appear to society? How can everybody accept me? So I was in a war of accepting myself, you know. I wasn't really accepting what happened to me. And that was a big challenge for me, honestly. Acceptance.
Yeah.
Accepting my body, accepting what it is, and learning that perfection is not something that you can reach. You cannot reach. You'll never reach perfection. Perfection is progress. Perfection is working on yourself. And no matter what you pass through life, or no matter what you achieve, you're always gonna chase something. You're always chasing something. You're always gonna feel there's something missing. So just calm down, enjoy the ride, and accept what it is. And just try to control what you can control and let go of what you cannot control.
That's really beautiful advice. I think it applies really to anything in life. We look at, you know, these moments as this is it. I've achieved this, like I'm done. But everything's always just a path on to the next thing.
Exactly.
So for you, after you came to this point of acceptance, self-acceptance in this new lifestyle or just next stage of your life, where did that take you? Where did that path then take you?
When you accept things, when you change the way you look at things, the things that you look at change, you know. Now, if I hold my mobile and I hold it to you like this, you're looking at it from your side. But from my side, I'm looking at the back. So you have to look at things from different angles. I think what we do in our life is we look at things as they are, flat. No, it's not flat. You should look at it, you know, like turn it around.
Different perspective.
Yeah, different perspective until you create what you really want. Sometimes you don't get what you want, but you can create it. You can create a good situation from a bad situation. I think this is what happened to me. I created a positive situation from a negative situation. I admit it. It is a negative situation, and I don't wish it to anyone to be living in a disability. But I can create something positive out of it. I can create a message. I can work on what I have, the rest of my body, not focus on what's missing, focus on what I have. So with that mindset, it made me explore my other abilities. Okay, wow. When you change your mindset, you grow and you see a lot of potential in yourself. So I started to really work on myself more physically. And I think that second accident that happened to me made me wake up and made me realize this. When I broke my hip after my second child, I was overweight because of the pregnancy. And as a mother, you know, despite the disability, we tend to, you know, like not take care of ourselves, you know.
You put yourself second.
Yeah, exactly. Put yourself second, and you lose your identity. You just focus on your family and their needs, and you forget your needs. And I think this is really important for women. I met a lady the other day, and she was telling me this. She was telling me, I don't have time for myself. I don't have time. Like, I just wanna sit and eat whatever is available because I'm tired taking care of my child. So I told her, you know, you should put yourself first. And it's not, it's not bad.
Not
it's
a
not something
selfish
wrong.
thing.
Yeah. And I had this in my mind. I thought that putting myself first is going to take away from my family. No, it's going to bring a lot of good things to your family when you put yourself first. When you put your health, your looks, you're a woman, you should take care of yourself. And that made me achieve a lot of things, honestly, that mindset. And that accident when I broke my hip, it was a wake-up call for me. It was like slap in the face, wake up. Now what you're going to do? You lost a leg, you have a disability, but now you broke a hip. You're going to have to stay 3 months without moving until you recover. So I started, this mental war in my head, I don't want to be broken. I don't want life to defeat me, and I want to stand up for my kids. So that moment of, like switching my mind and looking at things, at challenges as opportunity, as a chance for me to change and to transform, made me who I am today and made me achieve a lot of things in 10 years, in 11 years, that like you achieve them in a lifetime.
Yeah.
I achieved them in 10 years because I switched this mindset.
Yeah. I think we can't speak enough about how powerful the mind is in just doing anything. And I think the way you think about yourself is reflected in the opportunities you get, because if you don't think that you are capable or good enough to do things, you're not going to take the opportunities, even if they're presented in front of you on a silver platter. So working on that mindset is so important. So now when you experience challenges, I mean, I'm going to ask you a little bit about the things you've achieved in a minute, but let's fast forward 10 years since that happened, 10, 11 years. Now when you come up with challenges, because I think an important thing to call out is everyone can work on themselves as much as they want, but we still go through tough moments. We still go through challenges. We still go through self-doubt. So for you, when these moments come up now that you've had all these mindset shifts, you've pulled yourself out from really difficult moments, what things do you do now? Do you have any like practices or tools or tips? Does it take time for you to get through things? How do you kind of practically approach challenges when they come up for you now?
I look at them like, for example, I see what I passed through is very hard compared to whatever is
you're dealing with now.
And if I want to make a big deal out of something small, I always look at what I have been through and where I came from.
That's like your point of reference.
Yeah, exactly. Like Dareen, like you lost a leg and you broke a hip and you're a mother and you were pregnant with one leg and you're blah blah blah. Like I like turn this tape of my life, and I watch it and like, this is easy. You see, like I inspire myself.
That's beautiful.
I think we're meant to inspire ourselves in life, and we always look for people to inspire us. It's good to get inspired by people, and I'm inspired by people. But I think what's important is to keep that connection with yourself. Connect with yourself always. And this is the best thing you can do to yourself and in your life, is having the best relationship with yourself. Because if you're not good with yourself, you're not going to be good with others. And whatever comes through your way, you're not going to make the best out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's just reminding me of something, like when we talk about motivation or being inspired, you have external motivation or internal motivation. Yes. And so, of course, external motivation, other people you see or that you're inspired by, that's great. But what's going to get you out of bed at 6 o'clock in the morning is your internal motivation. And that's going to last longer and be there for you. It's more reliable than external motivation. It's a lot stronger. So creating that is really, really powerful. So with your kids now, how old are they, your kids?
My son is 16 and my daughter is 11.
Okay, so they're at an age now where they're starting to, find their own way, have their own experiences. How do you kind of coach them through when they're having a tough day? And I only ask the question because you've shared for yourself, you turn back and look at the things you've gone through. But I assume it's maybe a little bit different when you're giving them advice because they haven't gone through the same things that you have. So how do you coach them through challenges or get them to start shifting their perspective a little bit? And I'm interested because, one day I want to have kids and I always think about this work I've done on myself. How do I how do I raise them in a way where I empower them to think for themselves in a way where they don't have these limiting self-doubt or, you know, things like that where they think they can't get through. So I'm really interested to hear what you think.
I think the most important thing for parents is that they be real with their kids. You know, when you're sad, you're sad. Don't try to hide it. Just communicate to your kids because they want to learn how to get out of this. They want to. They learn by seeing you. They don't learn only by you telling them what to do. For example, there was one day I don't know, I felt like overwhelmed. I had something to do. And I was telling my daughter, I was asking me, what's wrong? I told her, I'm overwhelmed. I'm like, I have this to do. And she started speaking to me like I speak to people.
Giving you your own medicine.
Yeah, I was like, you can do it, Mom.
Oh,
what's
beautiful.
wrong? You're strong. I'm like, I looked at her, I'm like, oh my God.
You've created your own motivator.
Exactly. So I get proud, you know, like I feel proud when I hear them do that. And
lovely.
This is the real relationship, you know, to be real with your kids, you know. When I'm not feeling well, I'm not feeling well. I mean, I don't break down, of course, but I communicate to them that it's okay to
normal.
It's normal. It's okay. And I'm not always like, there's no toxic positivity.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
You know,
Yeah, everything's fine. You're never upset. Yeah,
it's not like that. Now they're used to me because they were born. They saw me without a leg. They don't see me like some people when they see me. Oh, you're so inspiring. You know, they see me normal. You know, they used to tell me, Mom, why are they taking pictures with you? I mean, you're good. I mean, like one incident happened to my son, like a few years back. His friend told him, I feel sorry for your mom. She has one leg. And my son looked at him and was like, yeah, but my mom broke Guinness World Record.
What has your mom done?
Exactly. So I feel happy because what I do in life, like how I face challenges and how I challenge myself also, gives them the idea that, you know, no matter what you pass through life, you're strong. You can do everything. Nothing is impossible. So I'm happy that my kids see me like this.
Yeah, well, it's definitely a testament to what you've shown them through your actions and the way you carry yourself. I think it's so easy when difficult things happen, especially to you, to feel like you're a victim. Right, and to sit in that because it's easier than doing the work to mentally pull yourself out of it. Yeah. But what it sounds like is you've really fostered a really strong mindset where you're not the victim of life. You know, like I feel like when we sit in that energy, it's like life's happened to me, all these things have happened to me, and it's very difficult to inspire yourself to do things or push through things because it's not coming from a place of strength. But I think what I find inspiring about the way your outlook on life is that you're in control of the things that are happening. You're taking charge, you know, like you're doing what you can with the things that are being presented to you. And really that's a beautiful example for anybody listening. You know, people can pass through different things in life, but to then be strong and push through and do what you want in spite of these things, I think it's so powerful. And it's something I can tell you've done a lot of work on because you don't just wake up like this. You know, It takes a lot of times of being knocked down, and it's years of backing yourself and continuing to be strong in who you are and trying and until that resilience builds up. So that's what I find really inspiring about you. And it's so beautiful to hear that your kids have taken on that role and they're like that mirror for you now. That's a really beautiful, positive thing and something I hope I can also recreate with my children one day. So I find that very, very inspiring. But I want to ask you about your Guinness World Record because this is amazing.
Yeah.
So you were the first ever female amputee to hold a Guinness World Record in the Middle East. It was in the LA1 category. It was a unilateral above the knee amputation where you had to do a single leg wall sit, and you held the record for 2 minutes and 8.24 seconds. Now, for anybody listening who's done a wall sit, I've had single leg wall sits in my program lately. They are extremely, extremely challenging. So that is extremely impressive. And I just want to know, what was obviously there's physical prep for something like that.
Definitely.
Training, no doubt.
Course.
But mentally, because when you're in the middle of an exercise and you just, is that inner self-talk that starts, I'll just stop. This is uncomfortable. Like, why are you even doing this? It's just, it doesn't stop. So what kind of mental prep did you have to do to hold this Guinness World Record?
First of all, the approach of Guinness World Record to me was wow, like as if I did it, like their approach, they wanted to launch the People of Determination category worldwide. Mm-hmm. And they're choosing people from different sectors, from different countries to represent this campaign. And when they asked me to break a record, and I really thought about it, what record do I want to break? And I wanted something that's real also, that's achievable. I didn't want to do something like a backflip or I want to do something that's like in my domain,
Yeah.
So I chose the wall sit, and I had like 1 month and 1 week or 2 weeks to train for it.
That is not that long.
That is not that long.
Wow.
Yeah, actually, if you train, the more you train, the more it's all about endurance. This is,
of course, yeah.
So I had little time, and the record was 1 minute 15 seconds.
Wow, you smashed it.
And I needed to break. Yeah,
I would have been 1:16 done.
Yeah. So of course, physically, I trained a lot, and I took all my vitamins, and like I really took care of myself. But mentally, like I had to, there's something that I think everybody passes through. We don't like to fail in front of people. So I'm like, that it was in front of me, like this picture, like not breaking the record on that day, or not doing, like
the possibility.
The possibility, yeah. How would it feel, So I had to train my mind, like, it's okay. You're just trying, and it's just that, like, they approached you, it's an achievement by itself. But breaking the record would be great. I tried.
So you took the pressure off yourself.
Yeah, I took the pressure and did my best and trained for it, and just remind myself for the message behind, why am I doing this?
Yes.
It's always, why am I doing this? Is it to prove that, I'm the strongest? No, it's not that. The message behind it is to encourage people to participate, to work on themselves.
To try things.
To see their potential, the good potential in themselves. So all of that, like I trained myself, but on the day when I was doing the record, and there was a timer, and
looking at the timer is the worst thing.
And the burn, and the burn. I'm like, no, like no.
It's only been 5 seconds.
And I was like pushing myself, and in the training I did more. But on the day, because, like mentally, and the people were looking at me, and like, it's
the moment.
It's so much pressure. But because also I've done previous achievements before, I trained myself, on the day you have to train for more, because on the day, no matter what happens, you might do less,
Yeah.
So train for more always. So whatever happens, you'll hit the target.
Yeah. So did you, when you were doing the physical training, were you trying to beat the record? Or, I mean, I can imagine you had a lot of different exercises, but when you were practicing the wall sit, were you trying to beat the record? Like, how did you?
I was trying to exceed, like more. Not only beat the record, try to do the maximum I can.
So did you, in training, do more than what you did on the day, or was on the day the most?
I did more than you did in training. Because on the day, it was so much pressure, honestly.
Yeah, of course. But that's still incredible.
Yeah, people looking at me, there was media, newspapers, TVs, everybody. When I broke the record, like, the social media was exploded.
Yeah, and you're still there just holding this wall sit.
I mean, like, it is a big thing for me, honestly. And till now, I can't wrap my mind around it, because I was born in 1978. And in the 80s, all we could have as entertainment is that book, Guinness World Record. So never.
I used to love going through them.
It never crossed my mind that I would be in that book. So, I can't wrap my mind around it. Like, I broke the Guinness World Record, and I am in the book, actually.
It's amazing. No, it's a really incredible achievement, and I think the exercise in and of itself is incredible. But I was very interested to learn about your mindset going into that. Because one thing I've learned the older I'm getting is the power of your mindset and the way that helps or hinders you to achieve what you want is very clear to me. You know, your mindset is like your number one team player. And if you're not on the same team with your mindset, you're constantly like at two ends. Like,
Definitely.
you know, you really struggle moving and doing things. So for anyone listening who's been really struggling to not control their mindset, but get aligned with it. I think that's what it is at the end of the day. It's about getting in some sort of synergy with your mindset. What advice would you have to them to empower them to start taking back control or moving their life in the direction they want?
I think what stops us is fear. We all know that fear. If they want to achieve something, or it's the fear of failing. And I mean, like, you can not lose, you don't lose anything by trying. And if you don't try, you fail. So just like overcome the fear of trying and try something. Even if you're going to fail, you have the chance to try again. So the fear always held me back in the past. Fear of the society, what people think, their opinion, a lot of thoughts that can like put us in a box and not cross any limit. And when we overcome the fear, we don't look at the fear, we overcome everything. We can, be limitless. So I think fear, overcoming your fear.
Yeah, it's very true. And I think one of the things I like to talk about, because I think fear is a big thing as well. I think the trouble a lot of us think when we're thinking about trying something new, or we want to push ourselves but we don't because of this fear, is because we look at the fear and take it as a sign that we're not ready, or that we don't know enough, or that we're not good enough. When the truth is, everyone who ever tried something for the first time had that fear, but they took the action anyway. So I think it's breaking down this idea that you don't need to wait for the fear to go and then start.
Take action.
You have to just take action, and then slowly it shifts, because experience and trying is what gets rid of the fear, because you're actually just starting to do it.
Yeah.
But I think just shifting that for me was a big thing. I was like, oh, this person I'm looking up to, they were a beginner once and they were scared to start. Now I'm looking at them now and they've been doing this for 10, 20 years. That's an unrealistic standard. That's a great inspiration for me. But in terms of getting started, of course I'm going to be scared. I'm out of my comfort zone. I've never done this before.
Definitely.
You're not going to do anything you want with no fear, because it's all new experiences. So I think realizing that everything that's new, you're going to have some sort of fear, and not letting that stop you is so important.
Yeah.
That was a big mindset shift for me, I think.
Definitely. Fear is a big thing.
Absolutely. Any other tips around mindset? So we've spoken about fear. I think that's a big one in terms of, people taking back that control.
I think also because, I look at myself and, okay, what I passed through is really big and hard and tough for me. But there are a lot of worse situations out there in the world. And I think sometimes people tend to minimize the damage. And what this leads them is that they don't have a bigger resilience. So I think when you really look at the damage and acknowledge the damage, you're going to have a bigger resilience, and you're going to really, bounce back.
Do you mean like be real with yourself about?
Be real and acknowledge your feelings.
Like validate yourself.
Validate yourself, acknowledge your feelings, because when you do that, you let it pass through you, and then you're gonna be stronger, even stronger. Because what happened to me is that my parents didn't tell me I had cancer, and I tried to hide myself from society. I tried to minimize the damage, minimize my image just to fit into society, not validating that you've been through a lot. You are strong, and you should acknowledge that strength. So acknowledging that and realizing, wow, I've been through a lot, that will make me do a lot, in return. So I think acknowledging.
Yeah, I definitely think validating the way you feel, to not undermine what you've been through, is really important to create that resilience, exactly what you've just shared. I know that fitness is a big part of your life now. How do you personally keep yourself motivated with fitness? I think this is like a a general thing that people are really interested to learn about? Different people have different motivators, have different whys. What's your why or your drive when it comes to fitness?
I think as I'm aging, as I'm growing, I'm realizing how important it is to really lift weights. And because as a woman, I like to look my best and feel my best. I always, put that in my mind. Like when I'm 70, I want to be able to, lift myself off the couch. I want to be able to carry my groceries. I want to be able to be independent, and not like the old generation where they're like very weak or on a wheelchair. So my
You want to be
health,
self-sufficient.
yeah, exactly. My health is my number one. This is my drive every single morning. Like I want to stay healthy, look beautiful, young as much as I can. But this is what we love beauty. We seek beauty.
What's a big part of how you feel about yourself?
How you feel about yourself, it reflects on how people will see you. Like if you're confident, people will see the confidence. If you're shy, people will see so how you feel inside, the most importantly, it will reflect on the outside. But also taking care of your outside is very important. People say, yeah, accept yourself. Like, no, yeah, accept yourself if you can't change it. Like I accept my missing a leg, I can't change it. But if I can't change it, why not? If I can go from 100 kilo to 50 kilo, why not? It's about seeking to be healthy, seeking to the overall well-being of the human being.
And when you spoke before about, putting yourself first isn't selfish, I think this is the perfect example, because if you can be self-sufficient, if you can be your best self, that is a benefit to everybody else.
Definitely.
I know for mothers, this is a tough one. They call it the mum guilt, where you struggle to put yourself first because you feel like you're taking away from time for your family, for your kids. But if you fill your cup up, you're giving from a full place.
Yes.
Rather than depleting your cup and giving from an empty place.
Yes.
I think that's a good way to like reframe it. And health and fitness is such a key way to put yourself first. I think even in my life, I don't have kids yet. It's the foundation on which anything I do is kind of a springboard off. So that's a big driver.
Definitely,
for me as
it
well.
is. People and I really like I don't get mad, but I get like I'm sad when people underestimate the importance of exercise, the importance of going to the gym, giving yourself that 1 hour. I know it's hard. I mean, I've seen moms that work full-time jobs and they come back home and they need to be mothers. They need to cook. They need to spend time with their families. It is so tough. I understand. But when you organize your time, when you will find time, you will find time, and try to find time, because it's really important. You don't want to end up like my kids now are growing. I don't want to like deplete myself, deplete my energy. So when they grow up and leave the house, they go on their own. I'm left, like weak and
Can't do things for yourself.
and old, and I want to maintain my health, maintain my image and to myself. This is the most important thing, my image to myself, how I see myself in the mirror.
Yeah, absolutely. Like longevity is a big thing for me
Exactly.
when it comes to fitness as well. And just speaking of, those people listening who feel they may not have the time, and, and like you've said, if you look, you'll find the time, which I agree. I think as well, just reframing it, it doesn't have to be an hour at the gym.
Exactly.
My goal is always daily movement, right? Sometimes it's a bit of stretching. Sometimes it's a 20-minute Pilates class. Sometimes it's a quick walk. It doesn't have to be like a full-blown 1.5 hour. Not everybody has time for that. So finding something that works for you, that makes sense for you, you will find a way to do it. But just don't be so fixated on it has to look like this.
Yeah, exactly. And I think everybody has time off during the week. Everybody has a weekend. You have a day off. You can fix like 30 minutes in that day to lift weights, to like maintain your muscles. I'm not saying every day, but at least during the weekend, go to the gym, put a time to go to the gym, because the impact it has on you after you've done it is amazing. And you're going to feel like I felt addicted
Yeah, because it's the endorphins that are released during training. It's they call it like happy feelings, you know?
The satisfaction you get after you complete a workout, whether you are feeling sad, happy, angry, when you put all that energy in lifting and in holding the weights, it's like, because I refer to weights as the problems in life, you know, like they are heavy. When you lift
the heaviness of life.
the heaviness. When you lift it, you like, did it, you know?
Yeah, you're taking charge of it.
Yeah, taking charge of it. It's a good feeling.
Yeah, it's like therapy sometimes, I tell you. Yeah, absolutely. Just before I let you go, I want to ask you, what do you feel is your purpose in this life? What do you feel is your main mission?
I think we've come here to this life to make it better for the people that are gonna be after us. So my number one mission is to raise my kids, of course, on a personal level, to see them, you know, happy, healthy, fulfilled and satisfied in their life. And for me personally, I want people to look at my story and to get inspired and to really think, if Dareen could do it, I could do it. Everybody can do it. Because that's what I was looking for when I was passing through hard times. Someone that could tell me and show me that you can do it, that you can try, and it's okay. It's okay to fail, and it's not the end of the world. So I think this is my mission.
To be an example of potential for people, of realistic potential, because you talk about the reality of achieving things, which is not just the shiny medals and your face in the Guinness World Record. It's the failing, it's the mindset shift, it's the hardships. That's all a part of actually achieving these things. And I think just being real with ourselves, you know, that's all a part of the process, and it's fine. And you're not alone in those struggles. You're not alone in doubting yourself or feeling like you want to give up. We all go through it. I think as humans, we can think we're so isolated in going through challenges. And I think challenges look very different for each of us. We all go through very different levels of hardship as well.
Yeah.
But I think we go through a similar feeling, similar thoughts, similar things we need to overcome to actually have the life we want. So I'm really grateful that you've spent the time to come on the show with me today. I know you're a little bit tired coming on, but I really am grateful to have shared this space with you to just talk about all the things that we've spoken about. It's all challenges I'm going through at the moment mentally. It's things I'm thinking about. It's things I want to empower my own family and children with one day. So I'm really inspired by the things you talk about. And I can't wait to see what limits you're going to push yourself to, what's coming out for you. And I really thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, Erica.
Thank you.